through all these photos that I've gotten over the years, it just kind of floods me back to those memories. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to share all this stuff. So why not? It does me no good. So,
Yeah, and it definitely is a family. I have some lifelong friends that I've met through karting that I never would have ran into if it wasn't for kart racing, and just some of the best people in general, just hands
yeah,
down, some of the best people I've ever run across is directly because of karting. And there's certain events, Sonoma, for example, the Vortex event coming up at Sonoma for Challenge of the Americas. I haven't been to a regional race in a while, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have a lot of customers, and I have a lot of friends and a lot of buddies that I just truly enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to going to that event just to hang out and kind of walk around on Saturday as not as Jason from SweeTech, but just as Jason. Where's my buddies? I want to watch them race,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it is a family. It really is.
Well, and speaking of family, I'll have to put my little Track Magic Owners Group plug in, but we kind of, it's not one of our official barbecue kind of reunion weekends. That's kind of being saved for later on during the year, but we're kind of using that event because it was, because it's Sonoma, it was close to the Track Magic origination there in San Francisco. A bunch of us are getting together for that weekend just to hang out, and I believe we might have maybe a Track Magic might show up to race there, but
Nice.
yeah. So we're gonna get together and hang out together and watch some good racing and hang out with Gary Carlton and everything he's done to bring back that Track Magic brand and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun that weekend.
All right, because I missed you at the last couple Track Magic days. I think you were out on a Saturday doing a lot of media stuff, and then of course I
Yeah.
roll in on Sunday.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a drive to get home, and I was a little terrified by that tornado that hit on Saturday night. Uh, just kidding. Yeah, so yeah, got all my stuff done on Saturday and hung out with the guys on Saturday night and went home early Sunday.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I missed you on that one, but it looks like I'll be able to catch up with you in person at Sonoma, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward to it.
So as a photographer, being behind the lens, what's the closest call you've had getting run over, or have you been run over?
No, thankfully I'm knocking on wood right now. You always have kind of one eye on the racetrack and one eye through the lens kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of always set yourself up to being in the right spot so you don't kind of put yourself in that sort of situation. So thankfully I have not. Um, I did have a pretty good fall though at one point. It was around 2001, 2002. I was actually in at Portland International Raceway for it was the IndyCar weekend, and they were doing a big road race up there. So quite a few Northern California guys were, and all the West Coast boys, and my good friend Mark Miller was racing that weekend, I think, as well. And I watched him hit the wall coming off the last turn out of the straightaway, and he hit it pretty darn hard. And I went flying off the pit wall and got myself all tripped up and I have a very expensive camera with very expensive lenses, and I didn't want the camera to fall, so I turned my hand up and I went wrist first down on the asphalt, and I have scars today to show it. I think that's the only time I've been really kind of hurt at a racetrack.
That's a pretty good record then for the
Yeah,
amount of
no,
time you
not too
spent on the
bad. So
track.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, long lenses help too, so you can stay far away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just yeah. Again, we don't usually talk to the photographers. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
us know the
exactly.
photographers in the background and say, "Hey, where's my picture? Did you get a good shot of
Yeah,
me?"
yeah, yeah. Well, too. Some people may not know this, but I did two out of the four of the Memo Ghibli books. So I did the first two issues with Memo, for his shifter car racing and stuff. So that was a lot of fun, doing the whole book thing. A lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine it'd be a lot of work. Do you ever find yourself, and you can be completely biased so that your honest answer is appreciated. Do you miss the magazine days?
Yeah, I do. And just as much as you like, kind of, racers like, hey, do you get a really cool picture? I want 11 by 17. I really liked, when I did pictures, sent them off to Rob, and, I got that issue. Rob sends me all the issues, and, I just like anybody else, I open it up. I'm like, where's my pictures? How many did he use? And it's just a lot of fun seeing the stuff that I did, show up, in the magazine. So it's not so much kind of cool nowadays with, the web. It's like everyone's got pictures up. Back then it was kind of cool because you know, yeah, thought went into how those pictures fit into, the overall format of the magazine and everything. And, with Memo's books and stuff, it's just a lot of fun to see it in print. I think it's a lot different.
Yeah. No, did you see the digital magazine that Challenge of America has been rolling out?
No, I haven't seen those. I've been wanting to. I've seen a couple of them kind of being posted, and I haven't had a chance to do it. But yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still digital, but when I had Andy
So
on
how's
last
that?
week, go ahead.
No, it must still kind of have that paper feel too, right? Though you kind of flipping pages
Yeah,
and kind of
yeah,
have
you
that
flip the
magazine feel
pages,
with it. Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
but when you had made the comment about layout, um, it's even though it was digital, the way the layout was done, it's like it didn't feel like a magazine because you're sitting there swiping, but
right.
the actual, I guess, feeling is a better word. Not feel, but the feeling. It
Yeah,
just took me back to like, man, I miss the magazines. There's just something about them. I think it was actually you that had posted um, a couple days ago just boxes full of magazines.
yeah. I got every one of them.
And now and I could be wrong, and if I'm completely off base, and someone's listening and say, hey, buddy, we do a magazine. The only ones I can think of that they come out of Europe, and they're great. I mean, they're good magazines, but they have a European feel to them. They don't translate very well to English. It's I miss the Go Racings and the Shifter Card Illustrateds. So if any of you are listening, start printing, and then they're going to come back and say, okay, well, just write us a check.
Right. Yeah, they were expensive, and they are still.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
But yeah, those are just I every time I see I look at stuff, I just feel like a vintage kart racer. Even the picture you posted on my page today is like, damn, I'm vintage. Look at those bread boxes.
Yeah, but people still look at that and go, "Wow, that's cool." So it was it's one of those things I think I miss nowadays. There's a lot of innovation back then, from what was going on with just chassis development, the engine development stuff, which you can speak to pretty easily there with you being with Sweet Tech, because that was you guys were it. You had George Barros doing stuff. You had guys down JM Racing doing stuff, and Paul Leary, and man, there was just there's a lot of everyone was looking for power any way they can, and the innovations that Track Magic went through with a lot of stuff they did. I mean, they spent countless hours at the racetrack. So it was a fun time because I really felt that, innovation in motorsports today, even at the top end, is a lot of it's gone. So
yeah, it's all in a rule book of what you can't do.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right about that, and it's I don't know. I guess that's probably a whole different conversation or podcast. But when you become too spec, does it actually stunt the growth of the sport?
yeah, and I think it actually somewhat does. Yeah, I mean that's probably a good topic for you on another one.
Yeah, that I don't know what kind of can of worms you're going to open, and
yeah, exactly.
How do you put a value to it? It's so hard to even have even an intelligent conversation on it, because the landscape in karting changes so much every 4 to 6 years. I don't even know if it would be a intelligent conversation, but I mean I loved. There wasn't, nowadays, if there's any controversy, unfortunately, it seems to revolve around an engine. But I remember Track Magic with their quote unquote suspension.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It was innovative. It was because they were thinking.
Yeah.
And they got dinged for thinking. It's like and. I don't know. That's just I always thought motorsports was supposed to be like that, but
yeah. But again, it's the innovators that actually create the rule books. Like they're the ones that innovate. They are the ones that change the direction of how the rules are written, etc. Because I think shortly after that, it was mandated that if a seat strut was welded to the frame, it had to have a bolt through it to the seat.
Right. Yep, that's right.
But yeah, is there anything you want to kind of highlight or reflect back on, or?
I don't know. Gosh, it was just so many, so many memories of a lot of great competition. One of the things I think from my, being a photographer back then, I got to see and kind of study different drivers, the way they would drive, and you would almost see it in their photos. And it didn't. I didn't realize this as much until we had the, Track Magic Owners Group thing back in September, and I watched Kyle Martin and Oliver Rowan and Jason Point all get on the track and drive at different times. And it was funny that, they were right back into their same, seating position, posture, the way they attacked the racetrack were different. And it was all basically their style, right? Just how they drove go-karts. And I didn't realize how much I'd memorized those and just understood them because I was just so close to the racetrack, behind the lens. So that was kind of fun. Just kind of seeing them, and it was very competitive, as any, there were people standing at the fence with stopwatches to see who's going to go fastest. So that was a lot of good times.
Yeah, the race, you can't take the racer out of they can't take the racing out of the racer, even after all these years.
Oh, no, it all comes back pretty quickly, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same way for them on Sunday when I was out there. It's Gary would go out on the track, and the original Track Magic OGs ran to the fence with stopwatches, and I was recording Gary on the track, and I started laughing because it was that moment of, after all this time has passed. I think Gary was the last Track Magic driver. Was that 2006?
2006, yeah.
So if we use 2006, it's 2019 when the barbecue was happening. That was 13 years. And after 13 years, when I talked to a lot of them, it's like they really haven't been that active with karting. Yeah, that old habit of clocking didn't die. They were like right there, okay. And what Gary do, and what Kyle
Yep.
do, what Jason do,
And
what all of
then
you do.
I'm in the seat next. I'm next. I'm going to